technology will make all of us more relevant, and that's the essence of it in my view. And
this is Dr. John Pham, and this is where we explore more than just what you do. We dive deep to learn about what's behind you. I'd like to welcome my guest today, Dr. Amir Mansouri. Everyone here knows Dr. Mansouri as the CEO, co-founder of SprintRay, a leader in dental 3D printing. But what many of you may not know is that he's also a PhD in the field of additive manufacturing. In fact, he's one of the world experts in this. And he's also a very good college friend of mine. We actually started graduate school together 10 years ago at USC, where at the time we were both just college students with a dream to change the world. So I'm very excited to have Amir here on this talk 10 years later, for him to reflect upon his dream, to share with us what his vision is for the future, and to also find out not just what's behind dental 3D printing, but what's behind the man defining a whole new category in dental 3D printing, Dr. Amir Mansouri.
thank you, John. I'm delighted and honored to be here today with you and all the audience.
Yeah, man. So what you been up to? You know, I'd love to hear about what's been going on.
A lot of development, a lot of product development, a lot of new stuff in the pipeline. Every day we come to work thinking of how we can make this technology better, faster, more reliable, more cool for doctors, dentists, orthodontists.
Let's talk about what's behind 3D dental printing. So Amir, you could have chosen any industry to go into. Why dentistry?
Having a purpose, having a sense of purpose, and really the ability to change life only was happening in dentistry. And that really grew in us. And every day we started to realize more and more that we're providing our doctors, our users, with a tool that they can go offer a better dental care to their patients. And that's why little by little we become more and more focused. And 4 years ago we said, dentistry is an industry for us. We're not gonna work, develop product, market, sell to any other industry but dental.
I'd love to kind of hear from your perspective, you know, how it's like introducing innovation to dentistry. What are some of the challenges and what are some things that really excites you?
Early dental days, everyone was skeptical. Everyone was saying, no, dental 3D printing is for labs, and what am I gonna do with a 3D printer in the dental office? No, I don't need it. It's not gonna solve a problem. It's difficult. I gotta learn a new software. My staff are not gonna learn it. I remember early days in one of the dental shows that we went, we had to literally beg people to come and look at 3D printing. No one knew about it. 4 years after, 5 years after, fast forward, it's mainstream. It's a necessity in every single dental office in the world.
And so talk to me a little bit about category creation, what that means to you, and what it means to go against the grain to invoke change.
What I learned was you have to have tenacity. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in the value you're bringing to your patients, you're bringing to your community, you're bringing to your customers. And with enough tenacity, resiliency, and also a little bit of creativity, do it over a long period of time, you will be able to prove that this is the right way. And then you see people around you start to follow, and you see early signs of getting traction in this category.
Amir, we were taught, you know, early on this whole thing about category creation, blue ocean strategies, expanding industries, right? Bringing in consumers or customers that otherwise did not exist within the market. And I think this is where, in many ways, we have the same mission. 3D printing had existed for a long time, but it's amazing what you did. You grew a whole new category, brought in a whole group of consumers here being dental professionals, never thought about using this in their space.
4 years ago, thinking about doing restorative 3D printing in a dental office was a dream. It was a dream to me. It was a delusion to a lot of people who were in this category. We're doing it now. 3D printing crowns, permanent crowns in a dental office is possible. This point, 3D printing of clear aligners seems like a little bit of out of reach for everyone. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, that's going to happen. And I'm very excited on all the new categories that we will be able to create with the help of community, with the help of all the visionary doctors who believe in this category creation and who believe that a change can happen and a better appliance, a better dental care and oral care can be provided to the patients.
So let's talk about the early days. It's pretty amazing that, I mean, what are the odds that we were both sort of classmates together over at USC? I had a dream to change the world, you had a dream to change the world in our own respective domains, and we ended up colliding together.
I met you back in 2012 or 13 in the CAD/CAM Advanced Computer-Aided Design course. And I was very impressed how a dentist who is doing residency in orthodontist is joining a pure engineering class. And essentially that was my first exposure to the entire technology in the dental field. When you introduced the whole concept of doing aligners, doing brackets in different ways and wires, and how we together developed some robotic technology. But later, when the idea of SprintRay got more traction, I gotta thank you, John. You got me a lot into the orthodontist. You got me thinking. And I remember when I brought the first 3D printer to InBrace office with Dr. Tang. And essentially, we explored the idea of what can we do in orthodontists with you guys. And you guys introduced us to great visionary orthodontist, Dr. Jason Cope, who early on helped a lot that we create this category in orthodontists.
You know, I think you hit it on the head in that really abundance is about helping each other, right? And just trying to do the right thing to advance your profession or someone else's profession. It doesn't matter. And I want the world here to know that Dr. Amir, as well, early on, was very instrumental in developing the robotics behind InBrace. We had this idea about what it should look like, how to design it, but we had no clue how to manufacture it. So on top of being one of the world experts in the field of additive manufacturing, Amir is also one of the world experts in robotics. Amir, let's talk a little bit about what excites you, right? What are you passionate about? Why do you wake up every single morning doing what you do?
I see myself a technologist, John, and every problem that I see in our ecosystem, every problem that I see in the industry, my mind, my subconscious is thinking about a solution. I see thermoform models. I'm like, why everyone has to cut around it? Why there is no good, easy to use system to really create a better experience, seamless experience for doctors? That's it. My majority of time is spent with engineers in product development, with users, with our customers in the dental field to see what problems that exist now that we can solve, what problems that exist that we can solve 3 years from now. And I enjoy it. That's what I do.
So let's switch up gears here a little bit. Amir, you're a big student of the game. You love improving and learning about life, and we always call each other up, sharing pearls with one another. And one of the things we always share with each other is books. So you got one of my favorite books in the background there, Start With Why. But is there another book you recommend to folks?
Yeah, Start With Why is definitely one of my favorite books. A mentor of mine many years ago told me, company without a purpose, without a why, is a company without a soul. So every day, essentially, we have to know why we're coming to work. What is it that we're doing? What's the purpose behind it? That's one of my favorite books. The second one is a book called The Caterpillar Edge by Sid Mohaseb that talks about change and how change is a great thing, but unfortunately a lot of people are resistant to change, and how embracing change will make a caterpillar into butterfly. Very good book.
A company without a purpose is a company without a soul. So I think I'd love to start with there. What is your company's purpose?
Our company's purpose, John, is to come to work and magnify the impact of dental professionals with the use of technology, obviously, and we're a technology company. And this is something that we evolved into as we grew and as we saw how powerful our tools are in the hands of the doctors. And every single day, our engineers, us, think about how we can make doctors more relevant to their patients. How can we make doctors more efficient? How can we make them more money? How can we save them money? And this is the why behind SprintRay.
And if we can now, talk a little bit about the Caterpillar Edge. I mean, how profound of a name is that?
That book, I read it when I was going through a lot of challenges in the company, and I was resisting change. And the biggest change was, should I be a platform for everyone, or I should focus in one category, which is dentistry? And I met the author, and then I got the book, and really had a big impact on me. And it's all about change, and how change is a great thing. And if you embrace it, you'll be successful. If you resist it, you'll be irrelevant.
In many ways, that's why we call InBrace, because it's supposed to be about also embracing change, embracing each other, embracing new ideas. So very much, brother, I mean, I applaud you for that, and I support it 1000%. And this is the other thing you brought up, which is if you're doing everything, you're doing nothing. And having specificity in what you're trying to do, that's so powerful. You want to elaborate more on that?
Focus. I think that I call it the power of focus. You only focus on one or two things that you do the best, and leave the rest of it to others, or collaborate with others. Because it's not about becoming really good at 5 things. It's becoming good at 1 or 2 things, and collaborate with others who are great at 1, 3, or 4 things.
Amir, you bring up a good point there, right? About, I think what you and I embrace is the abundance mentality, right? And I think a lot of engineers, a lot of my clinical colleagues think that life is a zero-sum game. But I think you and I subscribe to the fact that if we work together, we can actually grow the market and actually make 1 + 1 = 11, and not just 2. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your space, how does this abundance mentality come together?
There is room for everyone. The market is really big. In subtractive versus additive, they both solve different problems, and there's a need for both of them in a dental environment. And I'm a technologist. I love both of technologies. Another maybe relevant example is clear aligners, braces, and InBrace. There's room for everyone. Every one of them solve different problem of their own, and they all can coexist, and they all will win.
So as you mentioned, change is always difficult, but absolutely necessary. And integrating in change, integrating new technology, there are always some challenges associated with it. So what are some tips or tricks that you may have for clinicians trying to integrate new technologies like 3D printers into their offices?
I don't blame clinicians to be a little scared of change when it comes to technology. And the main reason is that every company has a very myopic view toward what they do the best. And they really don't care that how their technology integrates with other pieces. One of the big initiatives at SprintRay that we had last year, and this year we're doubling down on it, is how can we integrate the different bits and pieces of technology better, which we call it frictionless workflow. And when you see 3D printing in a dental and ortho office, it's a piece of a wider solution. It's not just, it doesn't exist in vacuum. And what we did was the integration with 3D scanner companies. Then we provided more design for doctors, and then you go back to the printer, the triangle of dental 3D printing that I call. So the more these solutions are integrated, the doctors are going to have an easier time, the more the patients will benefit from the outcome of that.
The triangle, so you're talking about this triangle that sounds really important. Can you explain more a bit about that?
Yes, I call it the triangle of digital dentistry, and it starts with digitalization of the dental teeth, and how 3D scanners, intraoral scanners, many great products out there that have done the work. Then once you have that, the other side of it is design. You need content to print. Once you get the parts or the scan of the patient's teeth, you need to design. Those designs are IDB trays, dental models, and then outside of ortho, surgical guides, night guards, crown. The third piece is output, which comes to 3D printing and milling devices, subtractive units as you call. If whoever offers a better integrated system will win. And that's why SprintRay is getting traction, because we have integrated all of those corners together.
I think you hit it right on the head. A lot of it is about integration. And again, going back to abundance mentality, I mean, there's a market for every single type of product. Some folks don't want integration. They want to have it open-ended, they want to do it themselves. Some folks want integration. right? And I think the market that you're trying to cater towards are the ones that want convenience integration. Is that right?
It's all about what customers want. They don't want to be locked into one system. If you lock customers in one system, they're going to push back. The other one, they want to be integrated. So this is what we did at SprintRay. We kept our resin platform selectively open. It's selectively open because there's validation involved, because you cannot just pour any resin from Amazon in a system and believe that it's going to work for dental applications. We also kept the same strategy for our software. We accept SDL models from any platform that you want. And at the same time, we're integrated. We're integrated with other pieces of this solution, and we're also selectively open. This could be our own category.
You know what? Actually, you hit it on the head. I mean, you are a category of your own. So if I can hear you right, you're saying there are some systems who are integrated but completely closed and walled off. There are other systems that are open, but it's just chaotic. And you bring the best of both worlds. You are integrated and open.
Integrated and open. This is, again, I go back to what doctors want, and community led us to that direction. I don't take credit for coming up with categories. It's all about listening to our customers and what they want.
So, everybody's really excited about 3D printers now. Can you talk about what you see the future of 3D printing being?
So the future for SprintRay is faster, better, more reliable systems with a lot more like sensors that we can see what's going on in the print process. We can do predictive decisions on a printing process, and that's what we are pushing the technology toward.
I think what really excites engineers working with clinicians is that we're both our professions are dedicated to lifelong learning. And I think what really excites me working with clinicians, I'm sure you too, are these clinicians that are always committed to bringing the best of what technology has available for their patients, right? So, maybe we'll talk a little bit about some of these offices you visited, and what is it that you think separates the ones that are very innovative from the ones who, maybe are a little bit more, I'll sit and watch and wait.
Yes, you're an engineer too, John. I mean, for us engineers, when we walk into a dental office, we see a lot of opportunities. We also see great technologies that
It's like a candy store, man.
It is a candy store, yeah. It is. Every corner of it, we see room for improvement. Every corner of it, we see software opportunities. And it's tempting for an engineer not to get into those, but overall, I think the doctors who are winning are the doctors who are keeping themselves relevant with technology.
So, Amir, one of our mentors who we both had told us that technology isn't about replacing you. Technology is about making you the best version of who you are. And I think it's more true than ever when we talk about both our businesses, InBrace and SprintRay. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, this is how I see it. What used to be good enough is substandard now. What used to be great is good. That's the pace of technology and innovation. Technology will make all of us more relevant, and that's the essence of it in my view. And the pace of advancement in technology is doubling every decade, or is quadrupling every decade. And what used to work in the past is not going to work in the future. And now patients are more aware of newest and greatest technologies out there just because of the social media and what's going on in the digital world. So to me, if I'm not relevant in my knowledge of technology and what I use in my daily and what I use in offering a better solution to my customers, I'm not staying relevant. And that's what's driving us. And then I'm going to go back to the caterpillar edge and what the book was saying, that you have to reinvent yourself every few years. Maybe 3 decades ago, the cycle of reinventing yourself was every 10 years. I can make a case right now it's every 3 years. That there's a new piece of technology, a new piece of solution, a new treatment is available that make the doctor more relevant to the patient, and it's better for the patient in the long run.
We started off as grad students at USC, 2 guys with a dream. And now, 10 years later, I mean, look at where things are now. I'd love to hear about what your most memorable moments are in this growth.
There are many of them to share, John. First, I think for every technologist, engineer, entrepreneur, just seeing a product that is being used by people in a good way is such a rewarding experience. comments and in social media, in Facebook, good feedback, bad feedback. They're all things that we embrace and we watch, and they're very, very rewarding to me as CEO. Second one, any product launch, they're always amazing experience to me. It's like seeing your baby go to school. It's first AAO in 2017, John. Remember that you guys first announced the InBrace solution, and we were just announced our focus in the dentistry. I was with you. I was with you in the opening, which was a great experience for me. Product launch. Third one, seeing the team grow. Right now we have over 100 teammates in our LA operations, and it's just, when I see I was 4 or 5 of us in a very small office, and now we have 100 families in this SprintRay, and it's growing, and we're creating job opportunities. These are all very, very rewarding as a CEO to me.
Well, thank you, Amir, so much for your time, and I hope our viewers enjoyed learning about not just what's behind dental 3D printing, but also what's behind the man defining a whole new category in dental 3D printing, Dr. Amir Mansouri. This is Dr. John Pham, and this is where we explore more than just what you do. We dive deep to learn about what's behind you. See you all soon.